Yeah. Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Miles. I'm gonna load up my PowerPoint. Okay. Um. Okay. So, what brought me to my master's at Western? Started back in high school. Got really interested in plants, and being able to know them helps you better understand nature around you, and how it works. So basically, I kind of realized my interest in ecology and wanted to go into college following this passion. So I went to community college, transferred to Evergreen State College in Olympia, and got my degree in landscape ecology. Got my bachelor's of science, and then kind of took a while to just do my thing, kind of dirtbagged around, and um, eventually I was like, I want to use my degree. And I remembered back in college, I took bryophyte taxonomy ecology, and that got me really interested and in like one part of nature. And I kind of decided to continue that passion and that study of mosses. And I began doing a lot of volunteer work, acquired some microscopes and all the lab tools I needed to do it. I started doing volunteer work for the county, King County, and then for the state, and kind of beefing up their inventories for areas. And simultaneously, I was working doing ecological restoration in Seattle, mowing down invasive plants and revegetating areas, and kind of got really found my focal passion in working with plants, revegetation. But I knew I really wanted to do something special with mosses because that was where my heart was. And anyway, so kind of beginning from there in 2015, I linked up with these two guys on the left. That's Joe Rocchio, and then this Finnish ecologist. And we were out this bog, which I kind of really found my passion for mosses out there. We were surveying for all kinds of different things. I was mostly surveying for rare sphagnum mosses, and below here, me in the woods, I spent about a week kind of by myself out there, just collecting mosses, analyzing them. And I had this little station set up in the woods. I ran my microscopes off the inverter in my car, and just became consumed with this world of mosses and how much it can teach you about nature, and loved it so much. Anyway, so I kind of left that restoration world and got into the Park Service, and where I found the ability to kind of pursue that passion in a different place and in a different context, and kind of did a bunch of these studies, independent studies of mosses in alpine areas. And these are some pictures of some areas I really loved. And anyway, moving along to the next slide. So yeah, got into doing a lot of inventory and monitoring work for the science arm of the Park Service. Here is me and Matt doing, in top left in 2016, mapping vegetation communities high up in the mountains in the North Cascades. And Jade here, my crew lead, one year we were doing work down at Rainier, doing this climate change flora study. And then I really got into doing moss for work, which is my dream. Actually, my dream was just combining rock climbing and moss work. So here's, in 2019, we did this NEPA compliance work to find rare plant communities that might be being impacted by rock climbing in the Skagit Gorge. And so got to climb and collect moss, and then spend the whole summer like working on conservation plans and stuff. And then 2019 as well, I spent some time up at Bacon Peak with a couple of Western interns and trained them in moss taxonomy and ecology, and they helped me collect stuff. And we were studying this subglacial bryophyte thing. And anyway, and then kind of last thing I should add in with the Park Service is that kind of the botanist bane is that invasive plants have to be managed. So this kind of glory scientific work was also balanced with doing this real practical work of managing invasive plants in the park. And this takes me to got a little bit of time left here. Talk about my thesis. It's kind of in the beginning stages. I'm working with Eric DeChain, and we're testing glacial refugium hypothesis in the Barlow Pass area here down in the circled area. Looks like continental glaciers never impacted the area in the last glacial maximum. So there's compelling evidence, as well as this really odd disjunct communities of mosses that are normally, they're more commonly distributed up in the Arctic and high latitude area. And there's these isolated locations down here. So the theory is that, you know, when the climate was different a while ago, that they persisted, and they are just kind of like these relict communities, and they're very rare. In Washington State, some of the rarest bryophytes are in this area. And so we're kind of just teasing out some beginning information, and we'll see what happens with it. And I think my time's up. Anyway, looking forward to seeing y'all on Wednesday.